Hey guys, it's Ender Shadowwalker, and today I am joined by Wooley. Say hi.
Hello, what's up?
Today we're going to be talking about FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's get into it.
How does how does the game settle with us? I don't I'll have to think about that, but what do you think, Ender?
Personally, now I've played it. I've played it to the point. I've completed all the games. I've done all that.
Okay.
To me,
Okay.
it's not scary anymore. I absolutely
Oh.
love the game and I love the concepts, but about game three, to
Okay.
me, there was no scare.
Makes sense. I mean, I personally have played the first game. I've played the first game, but I didn't play it much because I don't do well with scary games. I love scary games, but I didn't do well. But I've watched different YouTubers play it, and after watching some of it for a little bit, I didn't get scared after a while either.
Right, it almost came to the point of when you died, it was more of an annoyance than it was. Oh my goodness!
And a lot of actually other YouTubers have said that too. That like, especially if they're trying to get to night five or something. Especially in the first one, I saw a lot of YouTubers saying that it started just getting annoying and stuff, and it was more of a tedious task than anything else. So, that's pretty unfortunate that it had to turn out like that.
That's all right. I think, and I like Scott really did well on this whole series on all of the games. He really did. Um, Even though there are different theories, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Even though there's all that stuff, it seems like he did. He set out to make a good game, and
Yeah.
he did that. He made four great games.
He did. And I mean, I have to also give him props for being able to make those games fairly quickly. Like literally it was like one game a month, right?
Oh, well, it was a little bit longer than that, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
for
it was
everything
like
that he put into it, he did it very quickly.
yeah, it was like I think it was like every 4 months actually, something like that. Yeah, it was like I think it was about like every 4 months. And I have to give him props for that because it's like making a game probably isn't the easiest thing in the world, and being able to, make a game like that with even though I don't think necessarily each game is that diverse, he's still adding, I guess you could say, a lot of different aspects of the game and different gameplay in each one that makes it a little bit of its own thing. And being able to do that every 4 months is definitely something.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and it
And
it
oh,
had
go
to
ahead.
be it had to be a good game. Because if you type in FNAF or Five Nights at Freddy's,
Oh, yeah.
you not only get all of the Five Nights at Freddy's things, but you also get all of the offshoots. Um, I mean, there's game after game after
Oh,
game
yeah,
after
yeah.
game of just like Five Nights at Flumpty's or The Rebirth of Creation. Games like
And
those.
then there's I've actually seen some anime, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the audience have seen this because it was a big thing for a very short time. There's an anime Five Nights at Freddy's. Um, I can't remember the name of it.
It was FNAF. No, it wasn't
It was
FNAF
it was
World.
a, it was an anime FNAF thing. It was like it was super low quality, just like all the offshoots.
Of course.
There's also a Thompson the Tank Engine one.
Right.
Like things like that, and those are the funny ones. I've watched that one, but I get more scared with the is it Tom it's Thompson, yeah. Thompson the Tank Engine one is scarier to me, in my opinion, especially after playing the first one. It's scarier just because it's so weird. Like, not necessarily the actual character is scary, but just the idea of a child's cartoon in this weird environment made by an amateur who doesn't really know what they're doing. It's a little unsettling and weird.
Right. I completely agree.
But even though they're pretty stupid, but you know, I feel like for the general idea for the gameplay and the game and stuff, I feel like it's pretty good for someone like Scott.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah, especially for someone I don't think he's done any other games. I don't believe so. For him to make his own game himself, doing all that stuff, it's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. So on to the next topic. we're next topic is gonna be a little back and forth more. It's about the fandom. And personally, um, I feel like any fandom is gonna have some cringy and crazy people, but the way how I personally gauge the community and see if it's like good or not, I weigh it by the minority and the majority of who's crazy and who's not, you know?
Right.
And so, like let's say weeaboos, for example, with anime and stuff, it's like the majority of them, I personally believe the majority of them are just kind of chill and just like casually like anime and watch it on their downtime. And then the weeaboos are the hardcore people who watch it. And though in when it's a minority of people who are crazy, it's I feel like it doesn't you can't really label the whole community as either just cringy or weird or whatever just because it's a minority, and every community or fandom's gonna have their own, cringy minority.
Right.
Yeah. Um, like have you ever met anyone who's liked FNAF?
I have. Yeah, I have.
You have? You
I
have?
A lot of people. There are a lot of people that I've met, um, and the big thing with FNAF is either you like it, you don't. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah.
But I've met a lot of people that really like the game, and it's kind of I know a couple of people. It's kind of gotten to a point of it's a little bit past the point of just liking the game.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. I've met plenty of people who liked FNAF. When I was going to public school, I had a couple of friends. I didn't like. I guess you could consider them friends. They hung out with me. I didn't necessarily want them to hang out with me, but they hung out with me anyways. But there was this one kid. I'm not going to call him by his real name. I'll call him, let's say, Timothy. Me and Timothy were sort of friends. I hung out with him sometimes. I went to his house a few times too. He sat next to me in a couple classes. But the thing is he, when FNAF came out, he had this obsession with FNAF. He started doing things like fan art and like writings and theories on his own. And honestly, that's not a bad thing to do with any fandom that you want to do. But I do feel as if that there's a limit, like I feel as if that he did it in he was a okay artist. I'll say it like that, and he was okay theorist as well. He was okay at it. But the thing is that he was also someone who was a little kid. He was my age, but the thing is that he wasn't. He was too innocent, I guess you could say. He wasn't very mature. He was like a little boy. He did a lot of just playing around with his imagination and stuff like a little kid, and he had Legos and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with having Legos, but the thing is while he played with his Legos, he gave the each individual character their own voice and their own personality, and that's what I mean by when he was sort of a little kid in a way. And I feel like that's probably not the majority or of the FNAF community, but I feel like there's a lot of them who are like him.
Yeah, and I think to a certain extent there is. I think to a certain extent there's going to be everybody that has that imagination that wants it to be real. That so what they do is
Yeah.
they create pretty much like people in their head.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not bad to have it's not bad to have an active imagination. That's not bad at all. If anything, that's a good thing. But the thing is if you're sitting down with Lego characters, giving them their own individual voices and playing around with them, especially right in front of your friend who is also taller and older than you, only by 1 year, um, I feel like you need to if you think you might need to work on yourself just a bit. And another thing that confused me a little bit as well is that he had two siblings. He had a sister and a brother. And I actually was also friends with his sister and brother. And both of them were mature. Both of them were as mature as me. And they didn't do any of the things that Timothy did. And they never played with their little figures and stuff. Like most definitely they had those sort of things in their room probably from their childhood before, but they didn't do those things. If anything, when I went to his brother's room, he'd be playing Borderlands or something like that, or Destiny. And then his sister would probably be hanging out with another girl from school, listening to R5 or whatever, whatever girls these days do. Um, but but that's the thing. It's like the typical like teenagers and stuff. So,
Right.
and that's what they were doing, just doing that quote unquote mature teenage thing. And I didn't understand necessarily why he didn't. It wasn't like he was like mentally off or anything. I don't want to seem like I'm coming off mean. It's just like it doesn't seem like he was exposed to enough, basically. But I'm not saying that.
What it sounds like you're trying to say is he had an obsession to the point where,
Yes, yes.
like, in public, that was just kind of strange.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and I do feel like the majority, or not majority, the minority of the FNAF community is a very sizable amount. I feel like it's almost 50-50 in the FNAF community, to tell you the truth. But I feel like the 50 part where they're cringy, I feel like it's so much on blast to the point where people think that it's nothing but cringe and weird and creepy and weirdos and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, now
Next
for the
topic?
next topic, yeah,
All right.
we're going to be talking about the theories that people come up with on the FNAF.
Now, this is my
Now,
favorite part of this video.
okay, I'll let you take this off.
All right, so as we all know, Scott has in all of his like his Twitter and everything like that, even the game postings on Steam, he's never exactly told us anything straight, which creates their theories.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
there are some pretty stupid theories out there as to what is what and what, and I think that's just people getting over. It could be one of two things. One thing could be, like we just talked about, people becoming overly obsessed with the game
yeah,
and
yeah,
then just creating things. I think, but then there is that side of where we just don't know and we want to put something out there. Then if somebody else agrees with us, it's like, oh, this could be, a possibility.
yeah, exactly.
But and then we have those ones that make sense. They kind of like sometimes we wish we don't. They didn't make sense, and then we have
Yeah,
those that make sense. Like for instance, mine. I watch a lot of game theory. I absolutely love that channel.
yeah, he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and my favorite one thus far from the FNAF series was actually his ending one, saying that the
Uh,
child was or the this character, whoever we are, was actually in a hospital. Now I think that's pretty good. At the last game, if you've ever noticed, sometimes when you look back at the Freddy that's sitting on the bed, there will be
yeah,
flowers, there will be some medication, there'll be an IV. So why would you have that in your room? Also, I liked how he was talking about the digital clock, pulled it all together.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
because why would you have an annoying? I mean, like your alarm clock every day at 6. Okay, maybe if you're getting it for work, but if you're a child, why would you have one like that? Um, unless
exactly, yeah.
unless the hospital opens at 6 o'clock. There you
Yeah,
go.
and I think the theories are cool. I mean, I feel like theories for anything can be a really cool thing, like whatever it be, like Game Theorist, Game
Right.
Theorist, he has his whole channel based around theories for video games, and now he has a film theorist thing. So theories for anything isn't necessarily a bad thing or a bad idea. It's just that it depends on what's your theory.
Right.
It depends on how in depth you went to make your theory? Did you just come up with it while you were walking to work and you were just really bored, so you're looking at the sky, imagining how the theory is? Did you just sit down, listen to a bunch of theories from someone on a group chat on Facebook, and then just put them all together and say it's your own? Or did you go in depth, play the games, and then individually pick out little things in the game and then make your own theory? Um, and I feel like that's how a good theory comes about, is when you try to make it yourself. Like, of course, listening to other people about their theories is a good idea to make your own, but I feel like you need to kind of pick it apart and, make your own to make it make sense. Because if you're using other people's theories, there's going to be a little bit of inconsistency because they found out those theories themselves or from someone else.
Right. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And so, on to the next topic. So, you actually had a story before the video. You said you wanted to tell a story. Let's hear that story.
A friend of mine had she was playing FNAF on her phone, and she's going through. She managed to defeat, like, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy weren't managing to get to her. So she's playing, going through. It was on one of the later nights. Foxy decides to start running. Well,
On Okay.
on the phone version,
Okay.
Freddy ran. Now it scared her so bad she ended up throwing her phone across the room. It cracked the screen and put a hole in the drywall.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No,
What in the
it
world?
was absolutely the funniest thing.
Why would you do that?
That
Okay.
scared her.
That's funny.
She hadn't been, as of that far, she hadn't been jump scared.
That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Well, guys, that was for today's topic, FNAF. It was nice talking to you, Ender, and it was fun talking about how interesting, and when I say interesting, I put it in quotation marks, interesting
Interesting.
the community is for FNAF. All of y'all have a good day, and please come back next time as we talk about another topic. I hope all you have a good day. You have a good day too, Ender, and see you later.
See ya.